Hey everyone, what's up? It's TheUnproPro here, and welcome, guys, to the Ultimate RPG Maker VX Ace Guide for Beginners. This is going to be one long video explaining everything you need to know to get started with RPG Maker VX Ace. Now, most of you already know the basics and stuff, but this is for the people who are just now starting, and that way they don't have to go through a bunch of different videos and different tutorials. You still can if you want to, but I'm going to be pretty much explaining all I know about the basics, all in one video. So let's go ahead and begin. When you first create a new project, you'll see this over here on the side. You'll see these little tiles here. This is called a tile set. And the tile set is what allows you to make the maps. As you can see, I'm drawing some grass here. The tool that I'm using here is called the pencil. It allows you to draw stuff like that. You can also use the rectangle, which allows you to draw a square. You can also use the... Oops, it's kind of glitching. The ellipse tool right here, which will allow you to draw a circle. And, of course, you can use the flood tool, which allows you to fill in tiles of the same type. You see here, filling in that type. However, if we just do something like this, you'll see that when we fill something in, it'll be just on the tiles that match itself. Alright, so that being said, you can also change your tile sets by right-clicking on the map, clicking on Map Properties, and selecting the tile set from this list here. You can also make a new map by right-clicking on anything here, and clicking New Map. Again, you're faced with the same thing here. I'll explain the map properties in a little bit. But if you want to stack maps, you can just click and drag them. And if you want to release it, just click and drag it all the way to the top up here, all the way to Project 3. And if you can't do that, if you have too many maps, it should scroll up, but if it doesn't, I think it scrolls up, but if it doesn't scroll up, just stack it on top of another map, then just scroll up a little bit, and continue until you can unattach it to something. This is really helpful if you have a town, for example. If you have a town, let me load a sample town real quick. Regular town. Let's say you have a town, and let's say these right here are rooms that represent the inside of the houses. You can simply drag them right here, and you can close the branch and open the branch, and it just helps you keep things organized more. So that's what that's used for. As you've seen there, I just loaded these sample maps. If you kind of want to get a good feel of mapping, you can right-click and you can click Load Sample Map, and you can kind of take a look at all these. Really good maps here. And that should kind of show you a little bit about how towns and stuff like that are made, how ruins or anything else like that is made. Yeah, that should be some pretty good help to you. Now, this little tool right here is called the Shadow Pen. It allows you to make or erase shadows. To make a shadow, just click somewhere where there is not a shadow. And to erase a shadow, all you have to do is click somewhere where there is a shadow. Really simple tool. Can be helpful to remove or place shadows if you want to place them somewhere. Yeah, again, really helpful tool. As you've seen, I just canceled out what I did there. While holding left click and drawing, if you want, you can easily... you can right-click, and then that'll kind of cancel it out. I really hope I'm using the right mic. Okay, I am. I had to make sure I was using the right mic. I apologize about that. Now, as you can see, this tile set looks a lot different than the one we seen earlier. That's because it's using the exterior tile set. Now then, the zoom. You can scale the map that you're on. You can scale it by clicking these. So you can zoom in or out. You can't zoom in farther than the default, which that would be kind of cool if you could zoom in a little bit farther. Then again, I don't really see why you wouldn't have to, but it would be a neat feature if you did. Okay, now let me explain how auto tiles work. Auto tiles are essentially the same thing as regular tiles. At least they're called auto tiles in RPG Maker XP. I don't know if they're called auto tiles here, but in XP they're called auto tiles. They're basically a set of different tiles that connect to each other. This square here that I'm connected to is actually this tile. This one is this tile, as you can see. They connect though, but an auto tile automatically connects tiles to give you that smoother kind of connection, as you see here. How I did that was how I showed you the tile was if you hold Shift and right-click, you can copy the current tile. Make sure you're also holding Shift when you click as well, when you left click, to paste it. Otherwise, it's just going to start doing the auto tile like regular. That's called shift mapping, or shift click mapping, or something they call it. As you can see here, some of the tiles will combine with the other tiles. Like, for example, this one right here combines with the water tile, so therefore it has like a little bit of the water edge, and it's designed to kind of be with the water. So if you're kind of drawing something and you notice that it looks a little weird, that's probably why. It's meant to combine with something. Like these, for example. This right here, the grass will combine with whatever's underneath it, as you can see. That's how the tile system works. The auto tile system works in this game, or in this engine, not game. And I don't really think you can change the placements. Like I don't think you can make it go where let's say this tile is the grass instead. I don't think you're able to do that. I'm pretty sure you're not. But anyway, this section right here is for the grass or anything else that you want to make. This also will combine with whatever tile it's on, as you can see. The reason it's erasing those is because those are on this another layer. These are the layers. The layers, okay, you got the A layer, and then anything after A will stack on top of the A layers. However, C will not stack on B. It'll just erase. They'll just erase each other after the A one, as you can see. However, you can achieve a third layer effect by going to the events and making a new event and giving it, by double clicking the graphic area here, giving it the tile that you wanted to give it. And then that will look like as if there's a third layer when you start the game. As you notice that when I did the event layer here, everything became kind of checkered like. You got a bunch of squares, tiles, grids, stuff like that. That's kind of showing you where you can place events. And you can double click to start a new event, or right click and click on new event, or just click somewhere and press enter. You also have quick event creations here, which are transfer, door, treasure chest, and an inn, which that's where your party sleeps, which is this thing right here. You can also set the starting position for the player, boat, ship, or airship. So yeah, those are the vehicles. Those are really good on world maps, or if you just need to kind of cross a little bit of the water. So that's really neat. Now the database, I will go over. Might as well go over it now. In the database, you have a bunch of different tabs here. You have it was default on the tiles set tab. I think that's because I was last there, or wherever it was defaulted. Anyways, you should probably start at the actor area if you have not opened this before. Anyway, in the database here, you have the actors tab. This is where you can create new characters. You can change the maximum, increase by 1, and over here you have the name of your character, the nickname, which appears in the menu. As you can see, he's a Silver Reaper. You also have the description right here of the player, or of the character. His class, you can select which class he is, which will determine what skills he learns, and it'll also determine his equipment, and I believe it also determines your skill type, whether he does special, magic, or both. The initial level is what level the character will start on. The max level is a level that you can end on. You can't go beyond 99 without scripting, but scripting's not really too hard. I'll explain a little bit about it, but I'm not going to be teaching it in this video. But I'll tell you what it is and stuff like that I'm aware of. The graphic here, you can double click. Make sure you double click, otherwise it's pretty much not going to show up. And this is where you can select his sprite. This is called a sprite sheet, and basically it's multiple drawings of a little character in 4 different angles, and that's how you have your down, left, right, and up angles. And when you're walking, you can select a bunch of different things. However, there are also stuff like these in sprite sheets. These are used for events. This is used for the treasure chests, doors, etc. There's a coffin. If you're having like someone follow your party, yeah, the coffin can be used to represent their dead. You also have the sprite sheets are also used for the boats. It's used for everything with graphics that are in the game, pretty much, except for tiles and battlers. This is the face graphic. This is almost the same thing as a sprite sheet. It's just a bunch of different faces. It essentially could be called a sprite sheet. But this is a bunch of faces. This is where you can select the face of your character. Again, make sure you're double clicking. This is the features. The features, you can have 100% physical rate. You can actually add stuff to him, even if he's a... Okay, for example, if he's the same class as another character, you can still enable different things by having this, by using these. You can enable different... Okay, like this for example. Special. You can have the player auto battle, guard, substitute, or preserve TP. You can give him certain equipment types that the class normally wouldn't be able to have. You can add skill types, or you can seal the skills. So let's say he's the same class as someone who has special. You can actually disable special for him and enable magic, or don't have any at all. It's up to you. Or you can enable both. It's all up to you. You can add a skill to him even though his class does not learn that skill, or you can remove a skill from a certain class if you can't use them. Attacks, you can add attack elements: physical, absorb, fire, ice, thunder, water, earth, wind, holy, or dark. Holy is pretty much light, so light or dark. You can also attack state, so if he attacks someone, he has a chance of getting this, and the percentage is right here. 105%. I don't think it's normally you're allowed to do that, but maybe. Although I don't think 100% and 105% is any different, but you know. Let's see what else. Attack speed. Value that is added to agility to determine attack order when... Okay, so you can add speed to him, basically. And you can also have him attack multiple times. The params here, you can increase his max HP by a certain percentage. X perimeter, or any other perimeter that you want to have, by the way. The extra is hit percent, evasion rate, critical evasion, magic reflect, which means he'll reflect magic, I believe. CNT, I forgot what that is. Counter, that's right. HRG and MRG, I forgot what they're, and TRG. Oh, HP region, MP region, and TP region, which means he'll regain each of those, I believe. Special perimeter is target rate, I think. TGR, guard. I don't know what any of these are. I haven't really used them. And yeah, we've seen this. You can resist death and all that. You can also state rate. You can all this stuff. Just kind of play around with that if you want to. You can just add a bunch of stuff, in other words. This is the note. This doesn't really do anything unless you're using a certain script that requires you to put notes here. Or you can just use it as a memo. And weapons, this is where you can choose which weapons and armor he has. Over here is the classes tab. You can also make your own class. This is your perimeters area. You can select from them, or you can just drag it on your own. Or you can go to generate curve, level 1. Say he has like 50 attack on level 1, but on level 9 is max, and you can also have it curve fast, or you can have it curve slow, or you can just kind of have it in between, which will go from a straight line up. And you can, again, you can drag here if you wanted to. That'd be like the weirdest attack. That'd be like the weirdest stat thing ever. Because when you're like this level, you'll be super strong, and then lower, and then strong again, and then lower, and it'd just be weird. So I recommend just kind of doing one of these, or generating your own curve, or starting from the bottom and going up, like so. It's more random if you do it that way, which I guess can be a good thing. This is your max HP, this is your max MP, this is your attack, this is your defense, magic attack, magic defense, agility, and luck. Luck, I believe, depends, or luck, rather, gives you the chance of getting a critical hit, I believe. And I think it also plays a role in resisting status effects, I think. Depending on the certain situation. Over here is the same thing we've seen in the last tab. But this is by default from everyone who has this class. Here's the name of your class, and here's the EXP curve. The EXP curve, you can kind of just play around. You can make them level up faster or slower by playing with these values. You can see the experience required to level up here. Base value and acceleration. As you can see, it starts to require a lot more to level up if you want to get to level 98 or 99. So, yeah, there's that. And then over here is your skills. This is where you can kind of like make your own, or you can select which skills the class has and what level the character has to be to learn this skill, or rather to have it. The note, again, it's just the same thing. You can just kind of add a little note. Let's see. See, happy face, and then there's a note. And level 1, he learns attack. He already has attack. Over here is the note again, and you can see you can equip the different weapon types here. I've already explained how this works a little bit, though. Now then, the skills. The skills, again, are you can make your own skill if you want. I'll go ahead and do that. That'd be like the best way of explaining it. This is the name of the skill. This is the icon. Let's just give it this icon. This is the description of the skill, like what it does, as you can see. And this is the type, whether it's a special or a magic spell. Special are usually physical and TP costing, kind of. Magic is usually, like, well, magic. And MP costing, most of the time. Depending on how you want to set it up. You can also use TP if you wanted to. TP kind of generates as you battle. So that's why it's kind of used more, like, for skills, like specials, rather than magic. One enemy, this is the scope. You can have it you can have it attack one enemy, all enemies, one random enemy, two random enemies, three random enemies, four random enemies, one ally, all allies, one ally dead, or all allies dead. Or the user. Occasion, always, only in battle, only from the menu, or never. So you can only use it, you can use it however you want right here. The speed, I will go ahead and, okay, the value that is added to the character's agility when determining attack order. So yeah, if you increase this, then you'll have more of a chance of attacking fast. So you can basically make a similar move to Quick Attack from Pokemon, in a way, if you wanted to, just by giving it an insane speed boost. Success rate, 100% basically means it's always going to succeed. You can also fail at it if you want to make it lower. Repeats, you can have it repeat the same. You can have it repeat a certain amount of times. You wanted to. TP gain, you can also gain per hit. You can also gain amounts of TP by successfully hitting if you want to. Hit type, certain hit. The certain hit treats a successful use of a skill as a hit. Counter attack, magic reflect, and the substitute are disabled. Physical attack determines based on your physical hit rate and the target's evasion rate. Magical attack is based on your magic, your magic, and the target's magic evasion rate. This method is also used to subject to magic reflect and substitution. The animation is which animation will be playing as you're attacking. So if you do Holy All, it's going to do the Holy All animation. And we'll be getting into animations later. The usage, this is okay, blank casts the spell, or does the spell, or uses the spell or skill. You can also do anything else you want. And the weapon type, you can actually have this based on which weapon type you have equipped. So you can have this skill only usable if you have axe equipped, or a katana, or a bow, or a dagger, or a gun. That's cool. The damage over here, as you can see, you can have it do HP damage, MP damage, HP recovery, MP recover, HP drain, or MP drain. Now, if we do HP damage, you'll see you have, or anything else, pretty much you'll see you have a formula here. Let's give it a physical element, and I'm going to explain how this works. You can just choose quick if you wanted to. The base value is 50. Physical it relies on your physical strength. Let's do 15. Magical, 0, because let's pretend this is a physical skill. You can ignore the target's defense to make a shield breaking spell, if you wanted to, or a skill that'll pierce an enemy's defenses, that has strong defense if you want to do that. And you'll see they got a bunch of stuff here. So this is Okay, this is the base attack. So it's going to do 50 damage plus your attack times 0.6 minus the enemy's defense times 0.3. And of course, it'll also be sort of randomized between that as well. You can play around with those if you want to kind of get the hang of how they work. The variance is 20. The degree of variability. The final damage will vary based on the percentage value. So it'll be this, I believe, plus or minus up to 20% by the variance. You can see here. So that's the randomization of it. So that's pretty much how that works. Critical, you can enable critical hit or no. Effects is pretty much similar to the little window I showed you earlier, except it's a little bit different. You can recover your HP, recover MP, gain TP, add state. You can add an effective state to it. So you can have, like you poison, for example, you can poison an enemy, or remove state. Whatever else you wanted to add. You can also add a buff to increase your max HP for 5 turns, or add a debuff, or any other stat. Not just your max HP, you can do any other stat. For the set amount of turns. You can also remove buff and remove debuff. You can also do other. Special effect, escape. You can have it like some kind of a smoke screen or a smoke bomb or something. Where you can escape from battle. A little bit easier than running. A lot easier, I believe. Actually. You can actually increase your max HP or any other stat, I believe permanently, by a certain amount of points. Learn skill. That's interesting. This must be sort of new. Maybe I just forgot about it. Anyways, you can also learn skill. You can learn any skill by using this spell. Or you can activate a common event, which are the same thing as map events, but that can be called from any other map. Or effect, like this, as you can see. And then again, here's the note. So click apply to save your changes. Make sure you save your game as well. Otherwise, you're probably not going to be too happy if you end up losing all the data. Here you have all the items. You can make your own, which I'll be explaining. Actually, I'm just going to go over how potion works. So here's the name of the item, potion. Here's the description, recovers 500 HP. Item type is a normal. You can do normal or key item. The price, 50. That's how much it'll cost in stores, and I believe it sells for half the price. Unless you want to kind of make your own thing, which I'll be explaining a little bit about that later. Price 50. This is how much it costs in stores again. Yes, consumable, which means if you use it, does it take another one away? Yes, it does. Yes would mean you can have a certain amount of them. No means that it'll stay there for infinity and you can constantly use it. The scope, you've seen how this works. You can choose who it targets. Always usage, meaning you can use it always in battle and menu. And yeah, that's how that works. Never means you can never use it, which is used for key items and stuff like that, I believe. The speed of it, I've already explained this. Certain hit and recovery. Now, damage, we don't have a damage type, but if you wanted to make a damage item, you can do that the same way we did the skills. And the effects, recover HP. And it is 500. You can also do percentage. So you can have something that recovers, or that always recovers like 25%, if you want to do that. How long have I been recording? 24 minutes? Woo, not bad. Note. Again, the note. Weapons work the similar way. You already know how to change maximum, so I'm just going to kind of go through this quickly. You've already seen the features. This is the name, this is the description, this is the icon, and this is the type, the weapon type. This is a hand axe, so therefore it's an axe type. This is how much it'll cost in stores. This is the animation that plays when you use it in battle, when you attack. Okay, 15. This is how much attack. This is the weapon stats. So this has 15 attack power, and this is the defense power, magic attack power, magic defense power, agility, luck, max, this is the max HP that it increases, and then max MP that it increases or decreases. Wait, what? I think I got that a little bit wrong. The amount of damage that the character can withstand. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I was right. Yeah, basically, you can increase or decrease your max HP or max MP when using this. So you can have like a holy robe or something that increases your max health or MP. I don't know, but that's how that could work. And here's the note: armors work the exact same way as they're pretty much the exact same thing. Enemies. This is the enemies area where you can kind of make an enemy. Here's the enemy's name. This is the enemy's max HP, max MP, attack, defense, magic attack, magic defense, agility, luck. And this is how much experience you get for defeating the enemy. This is how much gold you get. And this is the where you select the enemy. You can change his hue if you wanted to. Drop items. This is this is the items that the enemy can have a possibility of dropping. You can say 1 out of 1, which would be 100%. 1 out of 10 would be a 10% chance, and so on and so forth. And that's this is okay. This over here is where you can kind of determine which skills the enemy has. So you can have him have fire. Conditions, you can have it do based on turn number, his HP, his MP, if he has a state selected on him, or like if he's like confused, for example. Like he'll use a certain other spell if you want to do it that way. Or the party level. So if your party is really high level, then for example, you can do a high level and he'll use a really powerful spell or something. Switch, you can also do it based on switches, which I'll be explaining how they work later on. And you've seen the features thing in the note. The troops, this is where you can set up the troops, which you can also set the positions if you wanted to. You can do arrange, you can add or remove the, you click to remove, or you can click to add new monsters. This is the name. You can do auto name, which will automatically name it for you. Select the battle back if you wanted to as the test, and you can do the battle test here. I'll show you how that works. And so you got your party members you can select here in the test. You can also select their equipment and their initial levels, or you can click initialize, which is return it to default. These are the battle events. I will explain how these work later. This is your states. I'm gonna go ahead and add one. This is the name. This is the restriction. You can attack an enemy, attack anyone, attack an ally, or if you cannot move. So this is like automatic stuff. Priority is 50. The higher it is, like the icon, it just changes for the icon. The higher it is, that icon will be displayed before the other icons will if you have multiple status ailments. Remove at battle end. Remove by restriction. You can remove it depending. None, or action end, or turn end, you can depend it on. You can just kind of look at the others and see how they work to figure that out. Remove by damage, remove by walking. And target aim, you can you can pretty much see how this works. For the blind, it says, "Oh no, became blind." For the enemy, it says is blinded. If the state remains, and if the state removes. And over here, you've seen that, and you've seen the note. Animations. This is really, really fun to play with animations. So the animations. Here's the name. Here's the graphic. You can select different graphics if you wanted to. I'm just going to show you a little bit how it works. Center, you can change the position of where the animation plays. I'm going to say about center. Number of frames, I usually do about 20. And now the animations are set per frame thing. And you can see where you place in your last animation. As you can see, you can kind of just place it that. And eventually you'll have yourself a pretty cool little animation. Oops. Move it over once. By double clicking, you'll bring up this little menu where you can change the pattern ID, X position, Y position, zoom level, angle, flip, opacity. Flip would be inverting the direction. Angle is the rotation. Opacity is the transparency. And you can have it a blending type. So add, normal, or subtract. I'll show you how that works a little bit. So you see how we have that one right there? If we have one that has subtract to it, it takes away from those colors. And normal kind of just doesn't do any of those. And that's how you do little animations. If you want to add sound effects, you double click in this little area. The frame would be on which this effect would be playing. And you just double click here and select the sound effect. You can also select a target flash, which will flash the target for a certain amount of frames, depending on what color you selected, and the strength. Or you can do the extreme, or the entire screen, or you can hide the target for the set amount of frames. As you can see here. See? So that's how animations work. You can use this right here to select. The tile sets. Okay. Tile sets I've explained a little bit about. Not a lot though, so I'm just gonna... Here's the name of the tile set. You can make a new one if you wanted to. The field type, area, or VX compatible. I just use field type every time because it's not really that big of a difference. Unless you're importing a tile set from VX instead of VXAce, then you would just select VX compatible. And I think I broke my toe. Not really, but that kind of hurt. Alright, dungeon, you can select the different tile sets here. A1, do you see the animation? We have world A1. This is kind of important where to place these. A1, you want to place an A1 base tile set, which is around water. A2 is the ground. You want to place kind of groundish tile sets like so, with either grass or trees or other stuff like that. A3 is the building areas. You want to place something with A3, like these. A4 is the walls. You want to place something with A4, like the walls. A5, of course, is the kind of extra-ish. So you want to place something with A5 on it. You have tile sets B, C, D, and E. Here's outside B. Here's C. You can also, for D and E, you can also have anything with the B or C's, because the B, C, D, and E are pretty much the exact same thing. So they can be anywhere. For example, tile set B can be where C is. Tile set C can be where B is. That's not going to change much, except for the area here where you can kind of determine the collision. Circle means you can walk on it. X means no. If you go to tile set B, you'll see it's a little bit different. You also have a star. The star means it'll appear above your character. Passage direction, meaning you can only pass through it if you're going a certain direction. Ladder will make your character always face up, basically. So it looks like you're climbing a ladder. The bush will make the bottom of your character slightly transparent to make it look as if he's going through grass or water or something similar. The counter it represents a counter. So let's say you have a wall of mountains here. You have one line of mountains, and there's an event behind those mountains. The counter will let you activate that event through the mountains. So, but only through one layer, I believe. So that's how counters work. The damage floor, when you step on it, it'll damage your player. And the terrain tag is used mostly for events. As you can see, it's not really used in the examples. So unless you're doing events, scripting, sorry. Unless you're doing scripting, or you have a script that requires the terrain tags, you're pretty much not going to really need them. You could use it for events, I believe. I believe you can check and see. You can use a conditional branch, I think, to check about the terrain tag. I'm not sure about that. The common events over here are the same thing as events. Once you learn a little bit about events, you'll learn how the battle events sort of work, and how the regular events work and the common events work. System, this is where you can choose your initial party. Double click here. You can add a party member by default. The game title is Project 3. The currency unit, the window, you can change all this here. Change the boat graphics, you can change the title screens, and all that. The music, you can also change the graphics for the title screen over here if you wanted to. You can set the starting positions. So we want the player to start here. Player's now going to start there. You can also set the starting position for the boat, and you can see where your starting positions are as you set them. Here's the airship, and all that goody stuff. You can draw the game title, which will display this name on the title screen. You can also change all your sound effects here if you want to. Initialize MIDI at startup will take a while, but it'll help initialize MIDI files, music files. Transparent on will make your party completely invisible at the start of the game. You can turn it off later with events. Show player followers. This basically, like, they follow your character around. Your party members do. KO by slip damage or KO by floor damage. Slip damage including poison. If you disable it, when you have 1 HP left, poison will not kill you. It'll just drain your HP to 1. Floor damage, if you disable this, when walking on dangerous floors, it'll just reduce your HP down to 1, eventually, instead of killing you. Reserved members EXP. More than 4 characters in the party. This party allows the members that did not participate to gain a share of the resulting EXP. So if you have like a large party, everybody can gain experience, even if they didn't battle. I'm not sure if that like divides your total amount that you got. I can't remember if it does or not. And finally, last but not least, the terms. This is where you can add weapon types, elements, add skill types, or add armor types. You can also change what everything says, the level and all that. You can change the names of things here. And that explains the database. Now I'm going to go ahead and explain a little bit of the resource manager. You can import whatever you need here. So if you downloaded animations, downloaded characters, or if you bought it from DLC, we just click DLC. For example, the Arabian Nights. Doors and stuff like that would go in the characters. So this is a door. Now I've imported it. And that's how that works. Faces work the same way. Tile sets work the same way. You just import them. Make sure that you're importing in the proper area. Otherwise, it's going to suck for you because you're not going to be able to use it very properly. You can also import background music, background sounds, music effects, or sound effects. Now the scripting area. Scripting area, this is called Ruby Game Scripting System 3, or RGSS 3. It uses Ruby, and it's not really too hard to learn. But if you really want to learn it, just kind of play around with certain things and figure out how everything works. And then kind of make sure you're doing this on another project. If you accidentally delete something or you mess something up, just start a new project, open the script editor, copy the one, you can right-click, click on copy, or you can insert a new one. If you're inserting something, make sure it's below everything else in the materials area. So you would insert it there by right-clicking, insert here, and clicking insert. Anyway, if you mess up something, you can right-click, copy this, and paste it back to your actual project. So you don't really have to worry too much about messing up new scripts because you can always recover them that way by opening a new project and stuff. Alright, as for the events, there is a link in the description to a video that I have explaining all about events. So that's going to be it for this video. And after you learn about events, you will learn how to do common events. You will learn about all that. Yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you all later.